welcome to another video, and today we're here to talk about Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is probably one of my top favorite Resident Evil games of all time. I got the original back in the day when it first came out, played it, loved it. One of the reasons why I got my PS1 system at the time. And that game, even to this day, I played through it, and it's still a phenomenal game. I mean, I still really enjoy it. I mean, that game has so many things going for it, especially with ideas, creative ideas, especially some ideas that they wanted to put in the first Resident Evil game that were only added to that game. And that's pretty much the zapping system, how you could play the game in different ways. Like the way you play the game one way will affect the next character's way, how they go through the game. That was perfect. And the 4 different ways you could play the main scenarios is amazing still to this day. My favorite out of the scenarios, well, I say I had the scariest experience was Claire B, because I played Leon's first. I like Leon's chapters more, but Claire chapter B is the one that scared me the most. It was pretty insane. And of course Leon B too. You guys know what I'm talking about. It always has that tagline about I think the tagline was you never know what's behind the corner, or like something like that. And that was true because of the camera angles that the old school Resident Evil games had. Nowadays, making that type of game might not be very lucrative for companies to make a lot of money. People don't like the tank controls, or they just don't like. They like being able to see everything at a certain angle, and fixed camera angles. Maybe I think of the past, but I still think they could kind of implement it into the newer game as well. But I'll go into that in a bit. So Resident Evil 2, what tripped me out about it the most, the old school one, is that pretty much everything, but the Tyrant was the one that got me, man. I mean, seriously, that dude was scary, and just playing it again and going through some of the moments, some of the stuff I forgot that he does, it's just pretty insane. I mean, what a cool character they put into the game. And for those of you who don't know, the Tyrant is actually the final boss in the first Resident Evil. So putting him in the second Resident Evil game is not even a main boss at first. It's pretty insane. Like you having like crazy interactions with him. But going to the new Resident Evil game, and I'm happy that they made the remake. It's been a long time coming. People have been asking for remakes of the Resident Evil series ever since the first Resident Evil was remade. And for some reason, I forgot what happened with Capcom. They decided not to go through with them at the time because they didn't make a lot of money off of the re-releases of the games on the GameCube, so they kind of skipped past it. The thing about Capcom is that, man, they need to like really listen to the fans. When the fans ask for something, that's what they want, and this proves it. I mean, look how well Resident Evil 2 is selling right now. I mean, I think it has already passed Resident Evil 7 within the first 2 days. It's passed what Resident Evil 7 got. I could be wrong about that, but I think it did, and I'm pretty sure they're very happy with it. They used the same formula and that Resident Evil 7 had, and that's the formula. I forgot what's called, the Resident Evil engine or something engine. I can't remember what it was. And pretty much, it's kind of like on the way Hunting Ground was, in a way, how there's timed events when enemies come at you, and then they're actually walking around looking for you, which is pretty creepy. So that is for everybody in Resident Evil 2. Like things are happening at every moment, because the game doesn't really load. I mean, it loads in the beginning, the whole police station or wherever you're at, and zombies are walking around, they're going from room to room looking for you. It's pretty terrifying, and the damage you do on a zombie, if you don't finish off a zombie in one room, he could follow you to the next and kind of mess you up in case you're being chased by something. I've been in certain situations where I've been like, I thought I killed off a zombie, and then I said, you know what, forget it, I'll just let him stay in here, he's not gonna do anything. And then he came over like 2 rooms over to come and get me. Pretty insane, you know what I mean? So it's like that tripped me out. But what I wanted to really talk about, what was impressive to me with the new game, was definitely the Tyrant. The Tyrant, to me, is the scariest boss, and the way they put him in this game was the way I'm pretty sure they wanted him to be put in the original Resident Evil game. The saving grace in the original Resident Evil game, when you were being pursued by the Tyrant, you go to another room and you were safe. Okay, you got out of that room, you're good to go. You got away from him. And that was that. But now, since he's actually walking around, actually looking for you in each room, it means you really have nowhere to hide. Pretty much, you have to really like lose him, which is pretty insane. You can lose him in save rooms and stuff. That's he won't go in there. My buddy actually told me that he can actually enter save rooms if you play on hardcore mode. Now, I'm not playing on hardcore mode. Maybe I will later on, but not right now. But if you guys know, let me know in the comments, because I would love to know that, because if he's able to come into the save rooms, then that's going to be pretty insane. But anyways, going into more about the Tyrant, he is one of the phenomenal bosses in that game, in this game, of course. He was the reason why I was looking forward to Resident Evil 2 Remake. I don't know, there's just something very creepy about him, and it's the way he doesn't feel pain, and he won't stop coming at you unless he passes out or whatever, which is rare occasions if you decide to attack him. Very cool boss. Now, as far as Resident Evil 2, I was one of the people who played the original back in the day. I was pumped for it, but did anything really scare me in this game? Not really, because I just knew what to kind of expect in this game, you know, even as a remake, you know what I mean? I thought I would get a little nervous when the Tyrant came around, but even so, I was more cheering for him because I loved him as an enemy. So I was like, yeah, he's here, and I didn't want to fight him because I didn't want to knock off his hat. That's how I was with him. In my playthrough, you're gonna see him wearing his hat until he takes it off. But anyways, I mean, the game is scary, but it's just not really. It's, for me, it wasn't really scary to me. I mean, the zombies are pretty. I guess they're kind of terrifying because they're hard to kill. I was annoyed with them because there should be ways to kill them, like stomp their heads out while they're on the ground and all that stuff. But I think that they made the zombies a little bit too hard. But they, at the same time, these are the best zombies in any kind of horror game ever, because the way you can't just kill them by shooting them in the face. You got to shoot them multiple times and kill them. So it's pretty insane. Now, I want to quickly talk about the graphics in the game. I was playing I'm playing on my regular PS4, and as I captured footage for it, I was well, not capture. I was actually playing live for everybody, and the PlayStation only allows you to play up to 720p. So I've seen how the game looks in 4K and all that stuff, and it looks phenomenal. The graphics, I mean, seriously, this is how good it is. You could go to a table and then you're going to pick up an item, and then you can't pick it up because, you know, it just looks that good, like it's an item you could pick up and use in your inventory. I like how they with Capcom. I'm pretty sure knowing this, that's why they put arrows on certain items that you can actually interact with. But seriously, I mean, it looks like you can grab a lot of stuff off counters, tables, like bullets and stuff like that. Stuff that looks like bullets or whatever, are powders for gunpowder and everything. But some of this stuff is just like stuff in the background that you can't grab, which is pretty cool actually. I mean, you don't know what you can grab until you get to the table and then the arrow points out. Thought that was really good. The character models. I love the way everyone looked, especially the Tyrant. I mean, if you see a close-up of his face, man, you can see, I mean, he is completely under control. Like, there's nothing in there. I mean, whatever his orders are, it's pretty insane. But who I'm most impressed with out of the models, definitely I would have to say Ada Wong. Ada Wong looks fantastic. This is the Ada Wong I want to remember. They did a great job on her. Very, very good-looking character model. I don't know who the actress that played her, but she did a great job. Chief Irons, he looked great. He probably is one of my favorite villains in this game because of his scenario, which is pretty insane. I'll talk a little bit about that in a sec. But graphics in this game just really look good. I'm very impressed. It shows what the systems can really do. I mean, we already know what our generation of systems can do right now. I mean, they could be pushed. I mean, even on a PS4, on a standard model, it looks fantastic. I'm just very impressed with the game. Looked great. Sound and things like that. Sound is very important, especially in a horror game, because there's not really like any crazy music. I mean, there's music at certain points, but what's really the best part of the sound in this game is the sound effects. And I'm going to talk about like things about rain, hearing the Tyrant's footsteps, which is very creepy. It kind of keeps you really, I would say, unnerved, because you never know where he's going to come at. And here's the thing. So I was being chased by the Tyrant. And, you know, I went to the safe room and everything. And I said, yeah, Tyrant, that's what you get. You can't get me in here. And I got anxious. I said, you know, let me go peep out there a little bit, see where he's at. He was standing behind the door, and I didn't even know it. And I got bopped. And I was like, dang, dude, like this dude, I mean, I think he's a little bit smarter than everybody gives him credit for. But, or maybe that was a glitch. I don't know. But I just feel like he was waiting for me. And it was pretty insane. But this game kind of puts you in the vein like where you're like, when you hear those footsteps, you don't want to leave your save room. You want to see where he's at, and then kind of like bolt out of there and get away from him, because nobody really wants to fight the Tyrant, because you could fight him and knock him down and knock him out for a bit, but there's no reward for it. And, you know, it's just better to outrun him, I think, instead of like using up your weapons. The controls, I did like the controls. I just felt like I feel like I mean, and this is me because I'm a fan of Resident Evil 6. You know, a lot of people, I'll get a lot of hate for that. Resident Evil 6, I like the fact that you could do melee attacks without a weapon. So I just feel like if a zombie gets closer, you should be able to kick them away or shove them away or things like that. But of course, in old school Resident Evil games, you can't do that. Zombie gets close to you, you get bit. Or if you have a defensive weapon, then you can use that. I just feel like that really bugged me how that was. But that's just a gripe I had. But the controls otherwise than that were fine. I mean, definitely, I think they're better than tank controls, even though I like tank controls. But a lot of the new people coming to the game, I think that the controls for the game are really good. I didn't have any trouble. I didn't get stuck in certain situations. You know, everything. Well, I did get stuck in certain situations. Like you try to go around an enemy, and then your character kind of stumbles a little bit. And like, hurry up and get up, move, man. But that's another thing. But I had a lot of fun with this game, and I actually have beaten it 3 times so far. The only thing left for me right now is a Leon B. I pretty much played the game in the same order I did the first time I played it. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying it's like 20 years ago, dude. Isn't that insane? Oh my God, man. But anyways, Resident Evil 2, definitely a game worthy of a day one purchase. And you know, that's rare for me to say something like that, but day one purchase, yes. Definitely Capcom listened to people. They're finally getting on the right trail with the Resident Evil games, at least. I can't say nothing about Street Fighter yet, but that's just my own opinion. What else did I want to say with this? They're on the right track. I think Resident Evil, I know Resident Evil 3 has already been being worked on. I mean, Resident Evil 3 is actually, the remake is being worked on as soon as they worked on Resident Evil 2, I'm pretty sure they started working on that one, because Resident Evil 3 really intertwines with Resident Evil 2 as it's a prequel and a sequel to that game. So they can use the same background. Like in that remake, they can actually use how the city got taken over and everything, how to get out of control, and in the aftermath of the city being destroyed, which is very important for Resident Evil 3. So I'm really looking forward to that. People really ask, hey, Reggie, or just in general, hey, you think Capcom's going to be working on Resident Evil 8 next? Is that going to be the next one coming out? I'm pretty sure they're already working on it, but that's for the next generation consoles. I think that Resident Evil 3 is the next game we're going to get. That'll kind of like get rid of that trilogy. I mean, they could do Code Veronica too, but Code Veronica doesn't really need a remake at all. But who knows? We'll see what happens. People might want a remake of that one. Why not? You know. But I think Resident Evil 3 is going to be the next one. Resident Evil 3 happens to be my favorite out of the series because it actually closes the chapter of Raccoon City. I got to be honest with you guys. Resident Evil 2, the original, and the remake, the ending to me is just kind of corny to me. I mean, after going through those kind of events, man, you don't expect the ending to end like that, where everybody's kind of like, happy, I guess. I don't know. You guys let me know. I mean, most of you guys have probably beat it already, but, you know, that's how I felt about it. But Resident Evil 3's ending really gave me, like, I was really, what's the word I'm looking for right now? Just kind of like, I felt subtle with that ending. Like, it was a good ending. It felt like, you know, like the chapter was closed. Resident Evil could move on to something else. Raccoon City is over with. I mean, you really feel, that's the word I'm looking for, closure. You really feel closure with Resident Evil 3's ending. And for those of you who have beaten the original Resident Evil 3 games, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys feel that way. That game has epilogues for multiple characters in the Resident Evil series. Very, very good. But I'm sorry, I'm going into too much Resident Evil 3 right now. This is about Resident Evil 2. Should you pick up Resident Evil 2? Yeah, if you're watching this video right now, stop what you're doing. Go get your copy of Resident Evil Part 2. Capcom is even adding free DLC for it when it comes to scenarios later on. I was trying to get the deluxe edition at first because it came with the costumes. I was like, they were sold out, so I said, fine, I'll get the standard edition. I'm not gonna buy any DLC for it, but they're giving away DLC for free. Yeah, I'll be there. So, anyways, sorry if I talked too long, guys. I just really had a lot to say about Resident Evil. Very fun game. I'm probably gonna play it tonight. I mean, finish the beast scenario. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Radical Reggie, and I will see you later.